Good afternoon, and welcome to Codebase Alpha, which is episode 62. We're once again up against Jeff, Fritz and friends, so I'm not expecting to see many people in chat today. This is part of my normal Wednesday streams. We're a bit early today, and today I'm going to look at the old school text adventure. Last episode 61 on Monday, we were doing GL shaders with OpenGL and GLSL, and we'll be doing another episode of that with Morton on Monday, the next Monday. But this midweek stream, we're going to be doing some text adventures. Rambling Geek, welcome. I'm really pleased to see you. So you're still at work, I imagine, at the moment. So thanks for kind of tuning in. This is brilliant. Okay, so what I'd like to do is look at some issues that we have with the text adventure around the troll that we created. Rumble Geek subscription, thank you very much. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And you're taking advantage of September, which is really good. I'm going to be doing the same in a bit later on. I'm going to need to be subscribing to Code Rush, I think, and maybe I might find the time to hand out some gift subscriptions to various streams as well. Maybe yourself is an appropriate one to do as well. Try and get you over that line for the extra remotes. No, yeah, thanks for that. I really appreciate the subscription. It's great. So it doesn't matter if you thought you were. It's fantastic. Okay, so let's go over to the code and we'll see what we can see. Okay, here we are on the troll bridge, and there's a number of problems with the troll bridge. Currently, the troll is blocking the player's way when they're trying to cross. They're trying to cross over the bridge, going from the southwest to the northeast. But of course, the troll blocks both ways, so that's an issue that I've got, and I've got to think about how I solve that issue. But I think what we'll do first is just try and make this troll actually work, and it's going to. I don't know how far we'll get with making it work as a puzzle today, because there's a number of elements. It's one of these kind of multi-part puzzles. The initial thing with the troll is you've got to give it some treasure in order to pass. But it doesn't go away forever. It just lets you pass the once, and when you come across it again, you have to give it some more treasure. And most players aren't going to stand for giving away their treasure like that. So they need to get rid of the troll by other means, and we won't kind of disclose what those means are just yet. When we come to further rooms across the other side of the troll bridge, then the solution becomes relatively clear. But there's a number of things we need to do in order to get enable players to give items to the troll, and also they might attack the troll, or they might throw an axe at the troll. And I think we need to do a bit of refactoring, a bit of kind of work on that whole concept. So what I'd like to do first is just go across to actually it's a strange place. We're going to go to item, and we're going to go to little axe, and that's here. So this has got this interaction where you can use throw to swing the axe, and then obviously you're throwing or attacking a dwarf. Now we've talked about this problem before. Is that this is an interaction with an axe rather than an interaction with a dwarf. So it's a bit odd. It's different from perhaps how we've dealt with interactions before. Certainly, when we try to kill a dragon, we say kill dragon, slay dragon, or whatever, and then we know that we're acting on the dragon. Here, we're interacting with an axe, but it's actually the outcome is to affect, in this case, a dwarf that might be actually in the room with us. And the problem here is the dwarf isn't an item. We've kind of set it up so it is, but we're not actually using that. It's actually just a wandering monster. And down the bottom here, we actually got, you can see there's get if dwarf present, and we are looking in the monster managers, and we're saying, well, is there a dwarf in this location? Well, that's a great kind of feature, but what I'd like to be able to do is to kind of generalize this concept of is the player in the presence of some other item or creature? And you'll see where this leads us with the kind of the give command, which we'll create as well. We're going to try and give treasure to the troll to pacify it and let us pass. There's a few tweaks we need to do to the actual the dungeon presentation, the dungeon dressings around the troll, but I think I'm going to leave that unless we actually get the time to actually make those changes. I'd like to concentrate on this concept of knowing whether you're in the presence of some item, some piece of dungeon dressing, and then being able to do something with a command like the give command. So this kind of idea is certainly interesting. So what we're saying is that we're passing in an adventure player in to this function, and we're saying, well, okay, are there any monsters in this location, any dwarves in this current location? And if there are, then actually return, in this case, the actual monster. But this first part is a query that we're doing. We're saying, is there a dwarf in the location? So I think we can probably try and encapsulate this style of query, at least part of this style of query, onto the player object itself. So let's bring up the player. So we want to first go to the interface for the player, iPlayer, iAdventure player it is, and we're going to add a new function to the new method onto this. And this method is going to be, it's going to return a boolean, and it's be called @, and we're going to pass into the @command, the @method. We're going to pass an item. So this is going to be, is it items? I think it's just item. Like that. So I think it's item, not items. And we should be able to bring in the namespace for adventure items, which we can. So we're going to pass, this is an enum, we're going to pass this enum in, and what it's going to say is if there was one of these present with the player, it's going to return true. This gives us kind of more options than just looking at monsters. We can ask if any particular item is in the presence of the player. But it will give us a start. So let's get rid of some of these unused namespaces. I'd like to tidy that when I see that. Okay, so we've got that on the iAdventure player. Let's go and find actually adventure player and implement that. So adventure player's here. So let's just implement that interface. And now we've got this. So what we want to know is if there's an item such as this in the presence of the player. Okay, so the first thing we can do, we can say, well, what if we pass in the item identifier for a dwarf? We can then extract the code that we had in that get dwarf if present method and put it into here. So let's just grab hold of that code that was in little axe, which is this here, and we'll copy that into here and just stick it in here. So we can say that if if item is item dwarf, then we're going to run this, because in the case of a dwarf, we're not actually looking at real creatures. They're not really items, they're wandering monsters. So let's see what we can do to tidy the rest of this. So we've got a manager type here. So where's this coming from? Let's go and have a look over at little axe. So we're saying for each manager in game. Okay, so we need to do the same kind of concept, don't we? So it's all our game wandering monster managers instances. So we say the same thing here. Okay, we need we need access to the game, which is interesting. So we're going to have to pass game in, I think. Oops. So as well as an item, we're going to have to pass in I read only adventure game. Okay. We need to bring in some link namespace. And what we're saying here is if, and we've got player, so can we use this in that location? I think we can just use current location. So if our current location, in our current location, if there's any monsters of the monster group dwarves, then we're going to return true. And then if all else fails, we're going to return false. Okay. So what else could it be that we've got in our location? So what we can do at this point, we could go back here and we could say, we can get rid of all of this complexity, and we can say if player dot at, and then we pass item dot dwarf in there. Okay. Then we need to just put brackets around that little lot. There we go. So that's simplified that particular piece of code quite nicely. But we've now got this generic at function that's on our player. Okay. So what else could it be? So if it's not the dwarf, then we want to make sure that we check if this item is in the current location of the player. So var, and we'll tidy this up. We'll just kind of go stream of consciousness. That's just going to be current location dot location ID. There's current location. Okay. So what else have we got on there? We should have items. So what have we got? We've got items. And if it contains, and here we can pass in an iAdventure item, contains x such that x dot item type, is it called? Is it item ID? I think it's item ID. Item ID should be enum is equal to item. So we can change that to any perhaps. Okay. So we should be able to just return that at this point. Okay, so how can we test that? Ooh. Let's have a think. Well, let's. We got a squiggle. What we got here? Okay, we need to go and change our adventure player. So it's got to take an I read only adventure game as well and take the game in. Like that, and over in little axe we need to pass game in, aren't we? And I think we've got game as a capital. Did we pass game in? Yes, we've got game here on our base class. So we can pass game into there. That should satisfy that. Let's make sure we build. Let's have some music, shall we, while we code. I think we need some music while we code. There we go. Yes, Pax, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. We're working on the text adventure today, so a little break from the shaders stream that we started on Monday. And actually, the shaders, the VOD that's gone up on YouTube has been my most viewed. It's been I think I put it up yesterday, and it's got like approaching 100 views already. So that's really gratifying. A lot of people are finding it interesting. Right. So we're building okay. So let's just delay testing it. We could try to test it actually. We could just pop a so we don't need to, no, we need to go through each manager, do we? If the player yeah, this isn't quite as I want it, because we're reaching through the managers twice here. Okay. So it's not cool, is it, that? So I think what we need to do is to pass in this case we need to pass a monster manager in. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to have in here I monster manager, is it? Yeah. And we're going to just can we do that? I'm going to say it's going to be null as a default. Then on player here we're going to once again have my monster manager null, and then rather than doing this we can actually no longer require us to do the loop. I'll clean up that code. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go back and have a look at our axe. I think, yeah, we return out immediately. We find a monster that's in the same location, so that's fine. Okay, so that's a bit better. So, Cody Beard, welcome. Glad you can join us. How is everybody in chat? Hope you're having a reasonable Wednesday afternoon if you're in the UK or in Europe, or I guess it must be the morning in the US and points west. Okay, so we've got that in place. So let's now look at a new command. So what have we got? We've got back, carrying, drop, help, interact, move. So we know to give command. Cody Beard saying still catching up after 2 weeks of work. Great fun as always. Yeah, so you've been away for 2 weeks and then you got to catch up. All the work you didn't do in those 2 weeks remained undone, I guess, and you're having to do it. Yeah, what a pain that is. Okay, so we've got a say command here. So let's just copy that and create a new command. So we're going to add a class called give. Okay, I'll just drop the code in, and this is going to be give, and then we're going to have an invocation that goes on there. So what we'll do is we'll just delete all that. Other players will keep in place because we might want to use this command eventually to give items to other people. Surly Dev, a troublesome troll. Yes, it's a troublesome troll in many ways. I hope you're not the troll. You had 4,000 emails while you were off, Coded Beard. Wow. So thank you for joining me, everyone in chat. Let's Alpha. Let's salute our gallant crewmates who have joined us on Codebase. Thank you very much. So So we need to kind of so it's not is verbatim, that's false. Verbatim means we is verbatim means that we take the command words that are typed literally, so they'll say and every word afterwards will be repeated. A non-verbatim command is one where we actually pull out all the little words that really don't add anything to the command. So like we say go to the north, that'll be kind of reduced to go north. So that's what the verbatim check there is. And of course we're not verbatim in a give. Right, okay. So let's set up the command so we can actually use it. So we should have a command registry down here. We do. We need to create a new give command. Give. It's going to be a new instance of give. And at the moment we'll just leave it with the word give, only synonym for itself. We may change that at some point, then maybe hand or present or whatever, and then we can add that to our list of valid commands. So an instance of that. So the way we do with the venture command registry is different from how we do the bot registry. The bot command registry works on reflection. It goes through all the I command classes that are in the current assembly and instantiates those as commands for the bot. But I went for a different way in the adventure command registry, just to we manually list them out. The instances here. Okay. So we've got a give. So at the moment we're only really worried about giving things to the troll, so we can kind of limit the amount of work we need to do by saying are we in the presence of a troll, and then giving items to the troll. Obviously should pacify it and let it allow us to move past the troll. It should go back under its bridge. So what we can say here is if player must go into CodeRush and fix that extra bracket that appears. So it's item dot troll, and we need to pass in the game, which is underscore game, and we needn't pass in a monster manager here. So if we're in the presence of a troll, actually at is wrong, it should be here, shouldn't it? So let's rename this method to here. Let's use CodeRush to rename it. So rename, it's going to be here. I'll apply that, and I'll change it everywhere hopefully. Just make sure it has. Yeah, it has. Okay. So now if on the give command, if player.here items item.troll, so let's bring in that namespace so we haven't got the weirdness going on there. So control dot and bring in that namespace. Now if there's a troll here, comment then becomes superfluous. So we're going to trying to give something to the troll, and if there isn't anything that we want to give things to here, then we're going to say something to the player. So the say command, we can just grab that. So we can say $, in there for some string interpolation. I'm not sure who you want to give item So we need to now figure out item. So what item are we trying to give away? So it could be that we say give diamond to troll, or give troll diamond. So we need to try and figure out which of the words after the command give is the item and which is the recipient of the item. So how are we going to do that? Okay, so let's have a look. So if we look at another command, why does it think this is? Okay, it's because of that. Okay, so drop. So here we're looking at the argument count, so we can use that. So if the argument count is what would you like to give? We can say the same thing. What would you like to give? So we'll have args there. Okay, what's the difference between these? Oh, we've got args as list. Okay, that's what we want. Yeah, makes sense now. You forget how you coded this. So I've got the args, the chat command event args contains args as a string and args as a list. Surly Dev, you're so surly. Will you be over on CodeRush's CodeRush stream later on, Surly? So I'm going to be popping over there after this stream. I'm hoping to manage to make Mark's stream today. Okay, so if the argument count is 1, then we've just got, in this case, yes. So we just get, it's just the word give. So if it's 2, so if we'll write this in the quickest way possible, then look how we can refactor it. What's going on? What's going on? Thank you. So if it's 2, we're going to take the second item, args1, as being the item we're trying to give. Yes, I'll raid him, I'm kind of planning to subscribe. Decided to subscribe to Mark's channel. I'm in there all the time anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to do. And it being September, if anyone remembers, it's September. It's half price subscriptions. So do feel free to subscribe to Codebase Alpha if you feel so inclined to do so. Okay. So let's think. Okay, so in this case, the item. Oh, thank you very much, Surly Dev. Thank you so much. Let's have some hyperspatial hype to. Oh, we're not. There we are. There's hyperspatial hype. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. So yeah. So thank you. Let's have some hype. Yeah. Okay. So I'm still kind of musing about what we're doing here. So the word that's in slot 2, so arg0, arg1, sorry, is going to be so var the item. We'll check the names. That's going to be args1. And we need to know if that's actually a real item, don't we? So what do we do in drop? We must figure that out. So item to drop equals args1. And we're not going to deal with all. And then we've got this lovely piece of code here. And we can do that is the same thing. See? So we'll call this item to give. then we can say we don't have item to give. You don't have that to give to anyone. Okay. So what we can do then is drop that bracket around there. Alright, so we've now established that at this point we can return because we're finished. Okay, so we've got an item. Okay, we can't do what I was just suggested we do, so we need to put that back in here. Okay. So then we need to grab the item. So once again we can use the drop command and we can grab this. So do we have it now in inventory? We grab the actual item from the inventory. And what we'll say is up here we'll say that's going to be a null. And it is it's a adventure item, is it? Item to give. It's an adventure item, so we'll say just adventure item. Like that. And here we'll just load it in at that point. Okay, so now we've got an adventure item. So we've taken the instance where the count is 1, now the count is 2, so else, so it must be 3 or more at this point, in which case we hope that the third word, at this stage the first, we could be saying give troll diamond or give diamond to troll, in which case we've got troll or diamond. Thank you for the lurk. So you carry on working. I know this is a difficult situation for most people in the UK, especially they're still at work. But yeah, I do exactly what you do. I just kind of turn it down and keep an eye on the stream. So thank you very much. And yeah, polish that rocket. A lovely, lovely green rocket. So that's fantastic, and you get the Alf hype as well as part of your subscription service. So welcome to that. So thanks very much. Okay, so now we've got a situation where we've got a candidate item and a candidate creature. At the moment, we're only going to be dealing with trolls. So give troll treasure, got troll diamond, or give diamond to troll. Give diamond troll. There are two kind of combinations we can have. So we need to work out whether arg1 or arg2 is actually matches up to an item that the player has in their possession. So we'll do that next. So we'll say var potential item is args1, sorry, and then we'll say if the player doesn't have that, so something along these lines. So it doesn't have that. Then we're going to say, okay, we think arg1 must contain the recipient. So var recipient is going to be args1, and potential item is going to be args2. And we're going to hear, actually what we're going to do is we're going to say, we think they're going to say give diamond to troll, and we're going to make that assumption like that. And this is going to bear a bit of testing, I think, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so in which case, if it's not that, then we're going to swap them round. So if the first item is not, player doesn't have that in the inventory, then we're going to try that, and then we're going to say, once again, we're going to say, we're going to do that same test again. In this case, so if they don't have that item in their possession, then I think we can then go ahead and say you don't have an item to give. And so we're going to say, I'm not sure what you want to give. I'm not sure what you're trying to ask me to do. So we can say here, sorry, I am confused by your command. Try saying exclamation with ADV give item to recipient. And we'll have a look what that looks like. Okay. So now we've got a, we should have in recipient and potential item, we should have the right values now, because if we didn't get them right first time, we swapped them round. So if they, yeah, so it should work out. We can follow this logic through some actual tests and code, actually running the code, but let's see what that gives us. So at this point we can say that adventure item in inventory so if they don't have it there, they must, then we can safely say that if they do have it in their possession, whatever's in arc 1, we can say that item inventory is going to be that value, so that's going to be potential item. Okay, and in this case, once again, we can also say if in fact we do have the item, we can do exactly the same thing. We may be able to simplify all that logic, but we'll keep it in kind of stream of consciousness as we're going along. Make sure that we don't miss any cases, which we probably are doing, but there we are. Okay, so we should drop out of here. So that we need to return at that point, don't we? Because we don't know what to do. So we couldn't work out if item 1 or item 2 was actually a ARG 1 or ARG 2 was actually an item which the player had in their possession. So what we can do, yeah, we can say that we don't seem to have an item to give. So item to give, potential item, isn't it? So what happens if they let's think about the logic of this. So they don't have it, so we check another way. If they don't have it, if the second way is not correct, they don't have the item at all. If they do have it, then we set it. I think that should work. We'll test that out. So we should be able to drop through here into a situation where we've got an item. And then we need the name of the item. So here we're going to put item in inventory .name. Okay, so let's try, before doing anything with any of that, those items and those recipients, let's just drop a breakpoint in there and run up our code. And we'll see what happens. So we're going to be using Slack as our client for this test, as we always do on stream. It's a bit white, I do apologise for that. So the alpha bot, which is what we're running, is a multi-client bot. We can use Slack, Discord, and we can use Twitch chat to interact with our bot. And one of the bot commands is the ADV command, which launches the adventure game. Sorry. So here we are, and we're now in a private conversation with the alpha bot. We'll go into the building. We'll take all the items in the building. So we've got all those items now. Go out. And now we'll try using the give command. So we'll just say give. We hit here. So we should come back. We should say the R count is 1, and we're going to drop out straight away, which we do. What would you like to give? Okay, so now we're going to say give ADV. We'll find eventually a way of getting rid of having to type ADV in front of everything. ADV give, and what have we got? Key. So what's that going to do for us? So now we know that so this is CodeRush visual debugging. It's telling us that the count is already 2, so we get this little kind of space that's made between these two lines, and the count of args as list is, we can see it's 2. So we know we're going to go into this part of the code, so we can just skip over that. So the item to give is now going to be the key. So does the item have a key? Does the player have the key rather? They do have the key, so you don't have the item to give, and then we grab the actual item, the item instance as a key, and pull it into item inventory. And then so you can see also that what CodeRush has done, it's kept this portion of the if statement in normal brightness, but it's great kind of washed out to the code here, so we know that all the code that's washed out there, none of that's actually going to run, which is really useful when you're doing debugging, especially if you've got large blocks of code. We know the next place we're going to hit is other players here, so we'll just continue. We don't care about that. If we continue, it should say I'm not sure who you want to give large iron key to. So we want the word the in between give and large iron, don't we? We'll do that. So ADV give diamond. So here we don't have a diamond, so let's just continue. You don't have a diamond to give to anyone, which is good. And then we're going to say ADV give key to troll. So what should happen here, the word to should be passed out of our command. Not really passed, it should be removed from our command as what we call a null. So args list has come in as 3, that's interesting. Okay, so that's correct. So now we should be able to pass into this second branch. So we've got the key in item 1 and the troll in as the recipient, and so we're going to drop into here and we're going to get the item as a key, which is good. And it should say, I'm not sure who you want to give the large iron key to, because we haven't processed the recipient at this point. We don't know who we're going to give it to. So that's just dropped down through into this default statement here. I'm not sure who you want to give the inventory item.name to. So let's try the other way. ADV give troll key. Put the key, give troll the key, give the troll the key. We'll try that. We should still have 3 argument counter 3, which we do. If we start stepping through this, we get to here, we should fail this test. We haven't got a troll in our inventory, so we're going to swap the 2 round. So now the potential item is the key, and we do have a key, and we grab that. And now we should drop through and say, once again, not sure you want to give a large iron key to. So that looks okay to me. So I think generally speaking that code's okay. The recipient problem is yet to be solved, but I'll say what we'll do is we'll cross that troll bridge when we get to it. See what I did there? So we'll say the inventory name. That may not the sentence may not scan for every item, so we may have to go through and work out if we want to make it kind of smarter around the word the, or if we go through our inventory items and fix up the naming so that something always kind of scans properly. But that's a minor thing at this point. That's kind of polishing, and that'll come out when we do a lot of testing. At the moment, we're still kind of very much writing functionality rather than polishing the way the words appear and the sentences, the grammatical sentences. Okay. So if there's a troll in the room, so we can say there. So first we need to get that, don't we? We need to say, is the recipient in the location? Okay, so here this is kind of recipient, so we need to see if we can, so the other players bit is to do with when we want to give, if we had it in a multiplayer kind of mode, we want to give an item to somebody else. Let's get rid of that for now, it's probably muddying the waters. Okay, so at this point we should have dropped through here with an item. So you should have an item, an inventory item that we can give away, and we've got we may or may not have a recipient. Right. Okay. So we need I adventure item again. Receiving party. I'd like to call it recipient again, really. Receiving party is fine. Let's call it recipient. We'll call this give to. So if the player doesn't have the item, then we should drop out of here with give to. Okay, so we need to. I think we can get away with saying var give to is string.empty at the start. And by the time we drop into here, we will either have a empty give to, in which case it's whoever's in the room with us, or we'll have a target. Okay. So let's see if there is a if whatever's in give to, see if that's present in the room. So it's a bit like here, and then we're going to pass in a string value. So let's go back to iAdventure player. And let's have an override of this, which is going to actually take this time it's going to take a string item, and then go to Adventure Player and implement that. So this time we got a string. And let's see what we can do in terms of current location. So we should be able to use a match. So if we look at the take command, this should tell us whether that the thing we're trying to interact with is in the location. Interesting, we're doing two lower here, so I think we better do that as well. Let's make sure we lowercase everything. Okay. Containers. So location items. So that's what we want. So item there is a string. So let's go over here. Current location. Here we're going to return, and we're going to say return not equal null. That should return true if the item that we pass in as a string is present. So in this case we don't need to deal with game. What are we passing game in here for? I don't think we need game in there either. So we can trim out this signature as well. That should be okay, and then we can do the same here. Like that. And then we'll go to little axe, we can get rid of that. Nice. Over here. We didn't pass game in anymore. In there, okay. In here, we can simply pass in give to, can't we? So what we'll do is we'll lower these various bits and pieces, I think. So we don't fall foul of that. So let's grab that. Like that. And we can tidy all that up and make sure we we're using efficient code in a while. Okay, adventure player is complaining. Our adventure player. I'm still taking game in here, aren't I? I don't need to take in. Okay. So this is simply a this is got to be any, just like above. We don't actually need the item itself. That bit of code is cool. We can use that. So over here, once we know that the thing that the recipient is there, we can say var recipient equals that. And this is going to be current. No, this is going to be player.current location. And item is what we got on item. We should have item ID. Which we do have there. Right, that is equal to no, I think we were right before. Yeah, there's a match on item, which is give to. Okay, so we've now got the item, the recipient. So now we can say if the recipient's the troll, then we're going to do something. And this is going to be basically, I'm afraid it's going to be like a, at the moment we're going to build it as a switch statement, but what we will do is eventually move the logic for processing, giving. You know, we'll do this straight away. So in most cases, if you want to say, if you want to give a diamond to a book, we're going to say we don't know what you mean. So what we need to do is call an interaction on the recipient. I think what we're going to do is do the simplest thing that can possibly work, and that's we're going to code it without trying to solve the global problem. We're going to work on giving items to trolls, and then work it out from there. Refactor. So we're going to write the simple code, then we're going to refactor into the generic case, and give us lots more options by doing that. Okay. So now we want to say if player dot here item.troll, and we'll use this form, even though we know that the trolls that the thing that they're setting is here, but we'll use this as a very explicit way of saying that it's the troll we're dealing with, and then we'll make it a function call, a method call on recipient eventually, so that we'll say, you know, we're trying to give something to a recipient, and then it will respond appropriately. The base class for most items will just reject that as a possibility of giving giving something to an inanimate object. But where we've got living creatures like the dwarves, the snake, the dragon, there's going to be an ogre and a bear and the pirate, other things like that, then we'll deal with that probably in the next text adventure stream, unless we get this done pretty quickly. Okay, so if there's a troll here, then we need to what do we need to do? We need to destroy the item. Effectively, the troll is going to take the item, and that's the end of it. It's going to vanish from the game, and then troll will move away from the bridge, and we'll open up passage over the bridge, and once we've opened up passage over the bridge, then after player has crossed, troll returns to guard bridge. Okay, so that's the kind of plan that we want to do. Exactly how we do all those things is not exactly clear, but we can destroy the item. So what we want to do, so the item that's in the inventory, we want to send that away somewhere. Okay, so what have we got on item? Item in inventory dot remove player status condition must be contained in. We can call it interactions, which is useful. We can play around with status conditions. We just want to destroy it, really. Okay. So, what have we done that's equivalent to that? What interactions do we have? Interactions, here they are. So we can activate an item, we can deactivate items, remove from inventory. It simply disappears at that point. Remove from location. Start clocks, update item names. Let's close doors. Add item to contents. So I think we just want to remove from inventory. And we need to pass the player and the item into there. Okay, we'll try that. Give command. So dot let's have a look where we may have done something like this before. I'm just trying to think of an area of our game when we've created interactions on the fly. Let's just remove that for a second. Do a search for the word do. And find all. So this is how we add items to the player's inventory. So we're instantiating an interaction called add to inventory. So we should be able to do the same for remove from inventory. So let's grab that bit of code and go over here. Give and down here we're going to say, well, this is going to happen if we successfully give the thing away. Is always going to happen, isn't it? But in this case, we are going to destroy the item. So this is going to be removed from inventory. And let's bring that namespace, interactions namespace in. So remove item. And it's going to be, we need to pass into there. So what does remove from inventory actually do? So we pass in an adventure item, which is good. So we haven't got to faff around with any of that. There we're simply going to pass in item in inventory. Do that interaction. That should remove it from our possession. And then the troll should move away from the bridge at that point. So how we make the troll move away is another matter. We need to get an instance of the troll basically. Okay, well we can possibly do that. So let's remove the item from the player's inventory. Let's test that out before we go too much further. Let's build. Trolls are troublesome in more ways than one. There's an awful lot to think about for this puzzle, and we're not going to solve all the problems today. But I do want to try and get at least where we can give these items to the troll. Okay, let's push a breakpoint. Oops, that was the wrong thing to do. We don't want that open. We want our breakpoint to be here. Where'd that go away? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll go over to our teleport command, and we're going to teleport ourselves to the presence of the troll. So this is going to be Troll Bridge. So the teleport command basically enables us to kind of do a lot of testing. We can just go places and then try out commands and see what happens. The command is going to open up the cave for us, give us 25 points. It's going to start the dwarves moving around. It's also going to give us an axe, and it's going to give us some treasure. So some coins and a diamond. So let's see what happens when we run our command now. and running, so let's issue the ADV command and join the game. Alphabot's responded. We'll do the usual thing, we'll go in, ADV take all, ADV light lamp. Okay, so we've got a lamp, and now we're going to ADV teleport. If we look around ourselves now, we should see there's a large troll barring your way here. So I need to kind of fancy up that text, because there should be a sign that says to pay the troll. So let's see what happens. ADV give troll coins. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what's the inventory is coins. Give to is troll, so let's step into that. I can see all kinds of issues with this code as it stands at the moment. We're assuming that item inventory is not null when we get here, and at this point we are assuming that we've found a recipient, so we do need to put some defensive coding in here, but for the moment I'm not going to do it. So if there's a troll here, it says there wasn't a troll here. That's interesting. So that's our first test of this here command. So let's put the breakpoint here and step into that. So we're passing item troll in. And item, that's troll. And we'll step in. And items at the current location is it items.troll. So what's that going? We're going to evaluate that. That's been evaluated as false. Interesting. So the troll is there. So any item ID equals item troll. We look at the items here. What's the item ID? It's snake. That's a copy paste issue. So let's sort that out. Our troll thinks it's a snake. So where's our items? Troll. Yeah, there it is. It needs to be called a troll. Okay. So let's run that up again. So if we hadn't worked through that, we wouldn't have found that typo. Okay, let's do all that again. Take all. Light the lamp, otherwise we won't be able to see. And teleport. ADV give coins to troll. Okay, that's true. There's something called a troll here. Grab the recipient, which is a troll now. If there's a troll in the room, which there is, we're going to destroy the item, and we'll drop through and it'll say not sure who you want to give that to, but that's only because we should return at the end of this. So we'll let it say the wrong thing, and then we're going to do an inventory. ADV inv, and we haven't got coins anymore. ADV look, and we shouldn't have any coins in the room. We haven't. So the coins have vanished. Okay, so the problem is we don't. It's not just any old item that we can pay the troll off. It's got to be valuable items. So let's see what happens with that. So we're going to destroy the item whatever. So we're going to say if item in inventory is treasure, then the troll will move away from the bridge. else. Remember, we're going to move this troll code into its own into a method that's going to live on the troll. So the kind of behaviour of the troll in true object-oriented fashion will belong to the troll. It won't be here. We won't be defining the behaviour so much inside the command, which is, this is all completely wrong. But what we need to do on what I like to do on this stream, and what I can recommend people do is write the thing that's going to work, the simplest thing that's going to work, and then refactor, and get it looking really nice. And with those refactoring comes the generalizations. Then you get the power of this kind of object-oriented model, and also it opens up lots of kind of vistas, other things you can do. So we can give. There's a vending machine in the dungeon. We can give the vending machine coins at this point, rather than using coins. Currently, we say kind of insert coins or something, which is fine. But you know, there's ways we could make that more general and give the behaviour to the object itself, rather than trying to code it in the command, which is not where it belongs. Okay, the troll will move on from the bridge if it's. So what we'll do is just say to the player, at this stage it won't actually physically move. Well, it won't virtually move, but we'll put a message out. So to the player's current chat client, we'll post a direct message. And it's going to go to the player, and the reason we're saying player.chatClient and then another player here is kind of, it's a bit moot really. It doesn't seem the most efficient way of doing things, but it's the way it's coded at the moment. I might have to revisit that. Passing an instance of the player in, and we pass the string in, and we will put some string interpolation in there, and we'll say the troll accepts your gift and praises it with a critical high and retreats under its bridge. And rather than your given, I'll say in here it's going to be item in inventory dot name. Once again, we'll worry about making sure that's a proper grammatical sentence at some point later on. Okay. However, if it's not treasure, troll throws the item into chasm. So this is simple. It's already been removed and destroyed. It's out of the game. Once you give it to the troll, that's gone. Can't be recovered. So the troll looks at you askance. Looks at you. Troll scowls at you. And throws the into the chasm. Pay troll. It roars. And at that point we're going to return. That's the end of the interaction. You just lost your item because you tried to fob it off with something worthless. So let's Let's see what would happen. So then, once we're going to need to open up the passage over the bridge, and we can do that. So this is going to be very much incomplete because the way the troll has to work is that the troll has to come back, and it has to kind of block people moving in both directions. So I had this idea of things being invisible. Yeah. So I'm starting to think that the troll doesn't live on the troll bridge. So let's go and have a look at Troll Bridge. Here it is. So it's got a troll there in it, but I'm wondering if the troll is not actually in the northeast chasm and the southwest of chasm. So okay, so let's go and have a look at the grate. Now the grate is a good example. The grate is in two places at once. It's above the ground and below the ground, but it's treated as if it's one. And we've got this unlock. I think we need to use this add new moves. Yes, I think this is the way to do it. So let's go and look at how we deal with. So we need items. Let's remove the troll from the troll bridge. For now, what I'll do is just copy that and then just pop that like that. So there's no longer a troll on the bridge. Okay, we'll come back to that piece of code. So on the north of the chasm, we're going to drop a troll in there, and on the southwest of the chasm there'll be a troll. On the troll bridge, people can just move normally across it because the bridge just allows you to pass over. So this bit here we'll remove. Northeast of chasm, we'll comment that out and drop that in. So this may not work, but we'll give it a go. And rather than going to Troll Bridge, we're going to go back to northeast of chasm. Right, we need to bring in adventure items in there. That'll sort that out. Okay, and in southwest of there, we need to comment that out and put. Oops. So northeast of chasm, we're going to be moving southwest. And we're going to end up still northeast, and then if we are southwest of the cavern, if we bring that item factory into scope, then we're going to go like this. So the huge green screen troll squats on the bridge, blocking your way and demanding a treasure to let you pass. In this case, it's going to be southwest of chasm, and it's going to be northeast and NE. So that's the direction you're moving. This is basically, if you try to go northeast, or then you'll end up still where you are, southwest of the cavern. That's what that's saying. Okay, so now the troll itself, that's it there. we need to go off to our item factory and make that a singleton. And this is how we make a singleton. So let's make the troll a singleton, and we can try this out. Get instance, and then we need to actually create the get instance method. So if we go and copy that from great, this has got a mutex on it, and we can drop that into there, and let's return a new troll. Looks like we need this code as well. So we need an instance variable and a mutex object. And that's going to be a troll as well. Let's move this up here. So we should have one troll now, and that troll will be on both sides. Okay. So handling the fact it's going to go away and come back is going to be the interesting part. But let's see what happens if we try to make the troll go away. So should the troll go away for a short period and then reappear? I think that's the way to do it. The troll will disappear and then reappear. I've just had a thought actually about something that we need to do with that shining emerald we created. Make a note of that, and we'll try and get to the shiny emerald. So let's see if this troll actually works in terms of blocking our way. What we're going to do is we're going to teleport. I need to do the teleport. I need to code the teleport command. So let's stop that. We need to be able to go to both. Need to test both sides of the chasm. So let's get rid of item factory and great. We need to go to the teleport command, and rather than going to the troll bridge, we're going to go to southwest of chasm. There. Okay, so let's run it up and see what happens. And then we'll go to the northeast of the chasm and see if the troll kind of works from that side as well. Okay. I hope you're kind of following the logic. I know it's a bit difficult, probably a bit difficult for you to follow, because it's kind of whirling around in my head at the moment what we need to do. But the troll is going to act a bit like a it's going to act like a locked door in many ways. Pure Snowball, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Oh, that the shader video is up on YouTube, and last time we looked, it was getting towards 100 views in just less than 24 hours. So it looks like it's had a good reception. So that's great. You say you should implement it as an MS Teams bot. The Slack noises gives yeah. Well, I probably could do that. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to do it as a bot in the bot framework. So it could be an interesting thing to do. So where are we? We need to go to the we need to grab everything. So ADV take all. Oh, I haven't gone in, have I? ADV go in. take all. I've got the leaflet. Never take the leaflet. I'm going to give the troll the leaflet, I think. ADV light lamp. And we're going to then teleport. So we should appear to the southwest of the chasm, which we do. ADV look. What do we see? Large troll barring our way, which is what we wanted to see. So ADV give troll leaflet. So we drop into our code here. So let's see what happens. The recipient should be the troll, which it is. There's definitely a troll in the room, so we're going to remove the item, which is going to be a leaflet. Good. It's not treasure, so we're going to drop into this, and it's going to say it throws it into the chasm. Hey troll. ADV look, so it should still be in place, which we expect it to be. Good. And if we give it some treasure, ADV, it's not going to get out of the way. ADV give coins to troll. Then it should act as we expect by saying basically thank you and retreating. We're going to say it's retreated, although it won't actually have done that. Okay. So ignore the bottom thing. That's an we're dropping through the bottom of a control loop. So troll accepts your pile of coins, appraises it with a critical eye, and retreats under the bridge. Okay. So now at that point, we're okay to try and actually move the troll out of the way for a while. I think what we'll do for the purposes of this stream is we'll actually just take the troll away, but it's actually got to come back. That's the idea. It's going to be the kind of every time you want to cross the bridge, you got to pay the troll. Although there will be a way to get rid of the troll. So this bottom bit we won't actually perhaps implement. So when we do an unlock, so we have an unlock interaction here. That's just changing the value of a flag. So we want to lock an is blocking flag, and that can lock an is locked. Okay. Let's go back to the grate. Under items, here's the grate. So we've got an open. When we unlock, then we're going to unblock these moves. We're going to add these moves which weren't there previously. So that seems like a reasonable thing to want to do. Let's grab this little lot and go onto the troll. And this way we are actually adding interactions, adding features to the troll, which is good. So this is going to be Okay, I don't think I'm going to do it as an interaction. So this is where we're going to have to do a bit of refactoring later on. So let's not do that. Let's create a public, say Skool for now. Page troll method. And in here, we're going to copy all that code we had before, but we're not actually going to do that. We're going to say what should we say? Should I say move, I'll call it add move 1 for now, is going to be that. Let's bring in some namespaces. Add move 2 is going to be that. Where we're going to add these moves to. Okay, so we can get rid of all this here. Okay, so add moves is an interaction. Patrol. I think Patrol is going to cause us problems because it's not going to be available to us as a method. Okay, so let's not do exactly like that then. Let's move it back over to the command and then fix it up later. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So let's got to think where we're going to go to. So the first player move we need to add. Have we got access to game at this point? It's game, we do. Okay, so the location we want to open to is going to be southwest. We want to open it to Trollbridge in both cases. And we don't need any text. Add to location southwest chasm. We're going to add north east northeast like that, and the northeast of Cavern. I'm going to add southwest. West. Let's remove those. So it looks like we're going to need to keep a copy of. I think it must be under Skool game. Yeah. Like that. And over on here we need to remove this, in fact. over here we need to remove those two. Okay. So now we should be able to pass. The problem is the troll will still be there. Okay, that's fine. We need to remove the troll from the location. Return at that point. And here we can say var remove troll is a new remove from location, and it's going to be item to remove, which is recipient. And then we need to actually execute those commands, don't we? Remove troll. .do. Down here we need to do these two commands. This is going to be player and I don't care what. Can we get away with that? No, we can't. What does add move actually use? Doesn't use the items, we don't care, do we? No, we'll just pass null in. And do the same here. Add move 2. Okay, so that should remove our obstacle and let us through. So let's just check that and then we'll finish up. Okay. So once again, start the game. Go into our brick building. Take all the items from the building. Light our lamp. ADV light lamp. And then we'll teleport to the troll. Now it should still be blocking our way. What's troll blowing away? So give troll diamond. So here we are in our code. Let's see what happens. We've got our picked up the troll. We've removed the diamond. Troll accepts your large diamond. Okay, then we should drop through here, and we should now remove the troll from the location, add in the two moves to the location and return. ADV look. Okay, so now we no longer have a troll barring our way. ADV go northeast. We should go onto the bridge. Okay, can it go in that direction? So it strikes me that we don't have, so we need to look at our location. let's drop a breakpoint here and just do the give command again. Coins. Okay, on player, our current location is southwest of Chasm, and valid moves. There's only one valid move, which is bat, so it didn't add our moves for some reason. It should have added the move onto the troll bridge at that point. So why didn't it do that? So we're southwest of the cabin. Oh, we didn't tell it where to add the moves, did we? Add moves, add moves. Okay, let's have a look at what add moves does. Okay, we need to set the location up as well, because it added to our current location, so we need to add it to yeah, we need to add our location. So I think this is going to work. Here, add moves, there's the list. Oh, the location was Troll Bridge, read it to. It shouldn't have been. This should have been the wrong way around. This is the wrong way around. So that should be there. And that should say Troll Bridge. Okay, let's give it another go. Go in. Say call again. Light our lamp. Teleport. Look. We'll try going northeast. We'll say go northeast. Right, go northeast. Can it go in that direction? UV, give coins to troll. Okay, we're pretty sure that actually works. Let's get rid of the breakpoint for now. Continue. So we go northeast now on the troll bridge. Okay, so we solved the basic problem. So interestingly, we didn't remove the troll from the other side. Okay, so that's another thing we need to fix. So let's do that. So the troll gets removed from both locations, but it needs to be put back in after a timer is set. So remove from location. So we need to pass in what location. So we can pass in a location, can't we? So we need to pass in the current location, which is that, and then also from the opposite location. So we'll do it explicitly. So we'll say remove troll, and its location is going to be location dot southwest of Kevin. It's an adventure location. Okay, let's have a look. best way to do that? We need to do try get. Okay. Southwest of chasm is going to be underscore game dungeon dot try get location, and it's going to be so where do I use try get location? Let's find out. Southwest chasm. Like that, and we'll do the same over here. This is going to be underscore game dot dungeon. Like that, and this is going to be northeast. Like that. Move troll 1. Southwest. So we have to undo a lot of this code in the next stream, but that's fine. Going to be northeast. Then we're going to remove troll 1 and 2. And we'll also fix up this where if we don't manage to find it, we'll do the error handling, but we're going to do happy path at the moment. Let's give that a quick go and then we'll finish. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to do the same process we've done before. Take everything from the building. Light our lamp. UV teleport. We'll look. DV give troll diamond. Go northeast. Look. ADV go northeast. ADV look, and there shouldn't be a troll here, and there isn't. Okay, so we need to smarten up the descriptions of all these locations a bit. So I think the plan will be to create a timer clock on the player, and then when the clock expires, to replace the troll and to block the exits. So that seems like the best way of doing it. So you'll be able to cross for a certain amount of time before the troll returns. Okay, so that's pretty much done. So the one thing that I wanted to do just before I forget is there is a room in the dungeon which is lit up by a shining emerald, and if the emerald's not actually in the room, like it's in your pocket, then the room isn't lit up anymore. So let's just sort that piece of code out, because it's very simple. So we've got locations. We want the now where was it? Where did it live? It was in the Misty Cavern, was it? No. So it is Dusty Cave? No. Can't remember where to put the emerald. Let's find it. Quick find emerald. There it is. It's in the plover room, of course it's in the plover room. Okay, so here is dark. If we change that to items dot any such that, can we do it like that? Bring in the namespace such that item ID equals item dot emerald. Well, I think that should sort that problem out. If you've removed the emerald and pocketed it, then it will be, so if it's dark, it's not, isn't it? So let's just reverse that. So if it's not, it's dark, this dark will be true if there's no emerald in the room. I think that sorts that out. Okay, let's do a build. And what we'll do is we'll push these changes up to GitHub. So over here, changes, episode 62. So this will all be available on GitHub for you to look at, to play with, to take and use as you wish. There we go, and we'll sync that. There we go, that's up on GitHub. So let's go and find someone to raid. We're going to raid Code Rush, I think. Yeah, so Code Rush is broadcasting at the moment, so I'll go over there. He's got 10 viewers, that's great. So we'll raid him. So thank you very much for those people who joined. And I'll see you again on Monday, where we're doing pixel shaders. Hopefully we might get as far as some ray marching. So join me on Monday and have a very good weekend. Take care everybody and enjoy the raid.